Yeah, you read the title. My second grade teacher lost her soul one time. Let me explain. So when I was in second grade I was in person. I was in person until the second half of third grade, and had a very nice teacher who, for the story, I'll call Mrs. Pottery. She got angry very rarely, and when she did get angry she always apologized. You get the idea, she's nice. Too bad she probably left the school. Anyways, one time Mrs. Pottery had a kid named Jocelyn take her phone, Mrs. Pottery's phone, to a desk at the back of the classroom. Which was a horrible idea considering Jocelyn was a class thief. She always stole pencils and such, so whenever something in the class went missing, everyone awkwardly turned their heads towards her. Anyways, as Jocelyn was walking, she tripped and Mrs. Pottery's phone slipped out of her hand. Mrs. Pottery let out a horrified gasp and died on the inside. She didn't talk for an hour or so, and me and my friends tried to apologize to her for some reason. But I was the one apologizing, and I am horrible at apologizing. And of course I messed it up and the teacher told us to go away. There was also my first grade teacher, who was named Ms. Fairgrieve. And trust me, she was the opposite of fair. So one time in first grade, we were in the library, and when library class was over I crawled over to my group. And guess what? I got in trouble for that. Why? I was a first grader. Let a child do what a child does. And the worst part, I got written up for it. Ms. Fairgrieve, more like Ms. Unfair Grieve. One last story. This one was my third grade teacher, who I'll call Mrs. Lauwiliwilanukanukuioi. And it turns out she was a huge jerk. So one time I was bad at multiplication, so my dad printed out a multiplication chart for me. I'm still bad at multiplication, but when I brought it into class, guess what Mrs. Lauwiliwilanukanukuioi did? She confiscated it. Why? Also, almost every Friday there were Fun Fridays. And because Mrs. Lauwiliwilanukanukuioi was a huge jerk, she never let me go to one. The only times I actually did something wrong were the first and second time, but even after I reflected on my actions, she still never let me go to Fun Friday. Screw you, Mrs. Lauwiliwilanukanukuioi. If you enjoyed this short video, please leave a like and comment. It shows me you enjoy my content. Have a good day, and screw you, Mrs. Lauwiliwilanukanukuioi.